What is speciesism? Has it affected you? And most importantly, how is it affecting the world around you? Speciesism is discrimination towards individuals based on their species. Say you're at a park and you see someone violently hitting a dog in the face. You judge the action as cruel and wrong. You might even intervene. 10 minutes later, you walk into a restaurant and you ask for a piece of steak. In other words, you demand somebody cut a cow's throat on your behalf so you can have a bite of animal flesh to eat. While I and many more would argue that taking someone's life is far worse than kicking someone, one action is normalized and the other one is condemned. The difference between the animals? Their species. The commonality between them? Their ability to feel fear and joy, pain and love, their desire to live a life free of suffering, their ability to take care of their newborns, to form friendships. In a civilized society, all animals, independently of their species, deserve a life free of discrimination, violence, and death. To become speciesist at a very young age. As children, we are naturally compassionate towards other species and are taught not to hurt other animals. At the same time, our parents feed us animal products, they take us to zoos, maybe even use hygiene products that have been tested on animals, without really telling us what these actions entail to animals. And then we grow up thinking that some forms of animal exploitation is okay. As long as it's not in front of us, as long as we don't see it in our daily lives, it's okay. Like all injustices of the past, speciesism is institutionalized. A perfect example of this is something that happened in the state of Mexico a few months ago. An off-duty officer leaves a butcher shop after a discussion with the owner, grabs a dog named Scooby, and throws him into boiling oil, resulting in the dog's agony and death. The police officer was located, prosecuted, and will spend years in jail. At the same time, the butcher, the farmer, and all the consumers of animal products are walking freely, maybe even feeling like good citizens, fulfilling their roles. And if that wasn't enough, the animal industry is one of the most subsidized industry in the world, with our tax money. So understanding speciesism on a theoretical level is a beginning, but it is very important to place ourselves in the victim's shoes, those experiencing the discrimination, and ask ourselves how would we feel were we and our loved ones in their shoes. And a dominating species was abusing us, exploiting us, and killing us when they have other options. Today, 99% of animal products arrive from factory farms, where animals are subject to mutilation, forced impregnation, child abduction, strict confinement, and ultimately loaded to a truck to be slaughtered at a slaughterhouse. Or in the case of fish, taken away from their natural environment to suffocate. In zoos and aquariums, animals are either kidnapped from the wild or reproduced in captivity, never to see one day of freedom. In laboratories, experimenters can do whatever they want to animals, from mutilation to injections of really chemical substances, to knitting their eyes, to placing them in water until they drown. Whatever you saw in a horror movie, it has happened or is happening in laboratories. Participating in acts of unnecessary violence and death towards all animals is wrong and cruel. I invite you to stop participating in all forms of animal use and abuse. Be on the right side of history and go vegan today.